Hey y'all, Rick Rex here, back with another one for you, and this time we're diving into the mental power set. Now we're starting off with a single target loadout, and I gotta say, I got some pretty decent results off of it. Now we of course are going to cover the mods, the artifacts, allies, skill points, the build, the loadout, and as always, we're going to take it out and see what kind of damage it can do as well. But first, if you like what you see and you want more, hit that like and subscribe button to help keep the channel growing and also to not miss one single update as they drop. Okay, so Mental. It's one of the original power sets in the game, and the devs have always shown a good bit of love to the OG power sets, and Mental is really no different. I will say that having multiple power interactions on the set is a bit dodgy, but it can be used in your favor, but we'll really kind of see the effects of that the next time on the AoE loadout. I spent a lot of time toying with supercharges and artifacts and allies to see if I could tweak things on the power, but I came up with some of the usual suspects. A lot of the reasoning behind it is that certain power sets in the game are just power sponges with the right loadouts. And y'all kind of know who I'm talking about, Quantum, just to name one. So we really had to modify our allies setup to make it viable in content, but we'll kind of talk about that in just a second. So let's start with our white mods as always. In our weapons, we're going replenishing adapter to get our power back quickly if we run out. And in our head, we're going supercharged bolt barrage. Now I went with bolt barrage in this one because there isn't really good options for the power set as far as supers go. And this one gives okay damage but still doesn't really blow Neo Venom boost out of the water being 100%er. So use your best judgment there as far as which way you would like to go. Now in our neck, we're going escalating might as always. And in our back, we're going Berserker as we really don't have a cooldown problem in the power set and extra damage is always a good thing. In our chest, we're going Penetrating Strikes to take advantage of the defense debuff on NPCs. And in our legs, it's really once again your choice. Nothing really works well with a practical loadout in general with the power set. Now feet, we're going Tumbling Master to keep us out of trouble, and hands, we're going max damage as always. For artifacts, we're going to use the Trans Strat Solar combo. Trans for the bump and crits, Strat to take advantage of those crits and leverage them with that innate damage, and then the Solar Amp to maximize our heat vision, get that extra damage, the big bump in might, and also the empowered channeling mods so we don't get interrupted. Now for allies, we're going House of Legends since he is the king of single target damage, Batman Who Laughs for his Luck of the Draw ability, and Cyborg for his passive to help out with the power problem that the power set naturally gives us. Now I don't really like to move away from any buff on damage, but with some power sets we just have to, and Mental is one of them. But hey, doesn't matter how hard a loadout hits, if you run dry, you aren't doing any damage, right? So next up is the build. In our weapon, we aren't going to be spending any points here as we won't be using it, and for your movement mode, take your super, don't forget that y'all, and then one of your choosing on the second row, and then your innates, acrobatics to the lower right, and everyone else to the left. Now for iconics, we're going to grab Robot Sidekick and Amplified Heat Vision only. And for the spec on skill points, we're going Super Powered Focus, max out your crit attack chance and crit attack damage, and then dump everything else into Might and Power. Anything left past that needs to go straight to health, because remember y'all, a dead DPS does no DPS. So for comparison's sake, with this build, it puts our might at 179, 194. And now for the star of the show, and that's the loadout. So we're going to take Terror Tendrils, Amplified Heat Vision, Mass Terror, Terrorize, and pair that up with Robot Sidekick and Bolt Barrage. Now with this kind of loadout, you really have to have a filler power in there to make the finisher and heat vision vibe as far as the cooldowns go. So we're going to use Mass Terror here because it hits so hard. And Terror Tendrils really are just there for the PI. So your rotation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Now what we're really trying to do here is just to not miss a beat with Mass Terror, but to keep the PI going. So that needs to happen about every 2 cycles of the rotation, and that's why it kind of looks like that. But we'll get a good feel for it here in just a second. So since we have all of that taken care of, let's take this thing out and see what kind of damage it can actually do. Okay, great work. So we have some pretty even parses happening off of this one, and its low comes in at 102,441, and that is an outlier in the parses. Now it's the only one that really dipped that low, so that's awesome, but the high comes in at 145,427 damage per second, and that is a nice one for sure. Now we had a few hop into that 140k plus range, so it's nice to really see those spikes, but the loadout looks to live in that 125 to 130,000 range in damage per second, so we can definitely call that one a win. Now even though this one did so nicely on the dummies, it's time for my favorite part. Let's drop everything. Man, oh man, I love that part. Now our big count on this one came in at 690,030 in damage per second, and for those of y'all sitting in the back, that's almost 7 million in damage in 10 seconds. You want to melt a boss? This is the way. The rest of the parses followed up into the 140s and the 150s in DPS, so awesome work. But y'all, that wraps up Mental Single Target. Thanks for joining, and don't forget, if you like what you see and you want more, hit that like and subscribe button to help keep the channel growing, and also to not miss one single update as they drop. I'll see y'all next time.